I'd buy that for $1.
What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you for another Dollar Tree Theater. And what we're going to talk about is 2017's Kidnap. Directed by Louis Prieto and written by Nate Lee. Starring Halle Berry as Carla Dyson, Sage Correa as Frankie, Lou Temple as Terry, and Chris McGinn as Margot. Lou Temple was in 3 Rob Zombie movies: Halloween as Noel Cluggs, Devil's Rejects as Adam Banjo, and in 31 as Psycho Head. A typical afternoon in the park turns into a nightmare for single mom Carla Dyson, played by Halle Berry. When her son suddenly disappears without a cell phone, and knowing she has no time to wait for police help, Carla jumps in her own car and sets off in pursuit of the kidnappers. A relentless edge-of-your-seat chase ensues, where Carla must risk everything to not lose sight of her son in this tense, action-fueled thriller from the producers of Salt and Transformers. One mother's heroic attempt to take back her son leads her to ask herself how far she will go to save her child. This movie starts off with in the opening credits, a good 2-3 minutes of home video footage of her kid growing up from an infant to 6 years old. He's 6 now. To drive across the point of how much she loves her child, which of course we would understand what this movie's about, that a mother would love her child and how much she would love her child. But and then it opens, she's at her job. She works in a cafe, a restaurant, and busting her ass. She's a single mom, works at a restaurant, has her kid there with her at the bar. I guess that's what you call it. Not a drinking bar, but like a bar you sit at and eat. Counter, whatever. He's playing and coloring. And then she gets off work. Her bosses are asking her if she can stay over because whoever was supposed to come and relieve her wasn't showing up, but then they finally did. So she's like, yay, come on son, let's go to the park. And it's like a amusement park type deal. And she gets a call, so she leaves her son sitting in a seat and says, stay right there, I'll be right back, I have to take this call. And they got this thing they do where they keep saying Marco Polo, and she keeps yelling Marco, and he would reply Polo while she's on the phone. It's a call from like a lawyer or something saying that the kid's dad is trying to take full custody. And while she's talking to him about that, she turns around and her son's gone. She runs over frantically, yelling for him, Frankie, and keeps yelling, Marco. And these women are trying to help her. Did you lose your son? And there's this one old lady, she's funny, she says, is his name Frankie or Marco? Because she keeps yelling Marco, trying to get him to reply and say Polo. And she eventually looks over and sees a big blonde lady pulling Frankie in a car and taking off. She runs up to the car, but the doors are locked. And the bad guys are in my favorite model Mustang, which is a 90s Fox body Mustang GT. And she's in a mom minivan. She jumps in the car and chases and follows them, trying to keep up with them. And the kidnapper is played by Lou Temple, who's in all them Rob Zombie movies. And she just keeps chasing them. A lot of shit happens. It's a suspenseful movie. You feel for the mother. It's almost like you're there with her, like rooting for her. And there's some highway carnage and wreckage and lots of shit that goes on. And of course, usually in these movies, things ain't good, but I won't spoil it and say what happens. I'd recommend you check this out if you find it at the tree for a buck or at the pawn shop or somewhere cheap. It was a fun movie. It was a good movie. I'd recommend it, and that's what I watched. Peace.